Hello, everyone. We have a word from our sponsor, so sit tight and we'll get to the cast. This summer has a high record heat. Walking outside has been rough. I personally walk outside and work outside for a living, and it has been rough out there this year. But one of the best ways I keep hydrated is with Liquid IV. You just rip a packet, add it to water, and drink it down. I personally like the watermelon flavor because it is actually really good compared to a lot of the sports drink I had, and it's not too sweet, which is nice. Another thing that's really nice about it is 3 times more electrolytes, which I always seem to be struggling, especially in this heat. So 3 times more is very noticeable on those hot days. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code NERDBS at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code NERDBS at liquidiv.com. Remember, all lowercase, and thank you for listening. And now let's move to the cast. Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd BS, and I hope you enjoyed that advertisement. I'm probably going to put the same one again, so if you haven't used it already, go ahead and do that. But either way, you're joining us on Tuesday, the 22nd of August, and I have Kyle here.
Hello there.
And Tomas.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And now you're done. I mean, you had it there. It was ready for you. You could have said General Kenobi. You decided to not do it. Now you've lost.
He's still not getting it. He's still not getting it.
Wait, what's going on? What'd I miss?
He said hello there, and you did not say General Kenobi. So that's what you messed up.
I mean, it's one of the biggest Star Wars memes. We're going to be talking about Star Wars today. Just, trying to set the mood. You blew it, that's all.
I would say hello there is used quite commonly outside. I'm not into
really.
It's okay, Tomas. We understand. It's been a couple weeks. You haven't been here, so welcome back. I know you've been doing book stuff, is what I've been understood. So that's finalizing, and then maybe we can talk on the cast whenever it's finished up.
Yeah, I got my Illustrator done, maps done, stuff's done, editing's done. Gotta just send it back. Proofreader has to finalize. Once the proofreader finalizes, it should start being put into market. So.
Sounds exciting. Other than that, have you done anything recently?
Oh.
You care to talk about?
I mean, I played Diablo with you.
Well, I will get to that later. Anyway, what about you, Kyle? Anything
anything special? I mean, what do you don't tell me what you're asking for, and then I give you something.
Man. I mean, I know, I put you on the spot.
I just feel kind of like I gave you something, and now you're moving on. Anyways, what did you want to say?
Yeah, what about Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle, what do you want to say?
I was going to mention the hurricane that we all just, quote unquote hurricane. Such a joke, but I don't know. I think different people got hit a little bit harder, but ultimately it was downgraded to thunderstorm where I was, and it was heavy rain.
Yeah,
video game.
We were evacuated where I was living. It wasn't a mandatory evacuation, but it was an evacuation. We left and went to my in-laws. We are in about 2 cities over, actually a city over from you, Kyle, and we actually felt like it was hard. It was really hard here. It was hard. It was windy. It was what I was getting told was it was essentially a tropical storm for the most part. But where I live normally got hit even harder. Not as much wind, but the road above us got washed out entirely. So now you can't go to Big Bear through Angeles Oak.
I heard
Highway
that.
38 right now. It is now
That's
shut down, and our camp still does not have power at the moment, which is why I'm still over here, and why you'll probably hear a difference in my recording voice. Hope it sounds good. But anyway,
You're so worried about it. Look at you. It sounds fine, dude. You're good.
I know. I'm very worried about it.
Yeah, I know. Like it was a lot of rain all at once,
Mm-hmm.
and that's probably what happened to the road up there, which is terrible. And I hope everyone's okay. But I mean, I'm mad about it because it hurt my business. I was at an event on Saturday night, and the media had hyped up this quote unquote tropical storm so much that vendors dropped out. So I set up a booth. I sell video games Saturday night, right? And this guy has done 7 of them, so it's like a big deal. A lot of prep work, like 2 full days of prep work for me to get set up. And then vendors dropped out. There was low attendance. Everyone I talked to was like, oh yeah, the storm definitely kept people from coming. We didn't have a drop of rain, and that was the forecast said no rain all day. But the media and everybody just hyped it up so much, and that's what I'm mad about. It's like, come on, like I get being prepared, but the forecast says nothing. So I don't know what you're going to say about that, Alan. Maybe, everyone has their own experience, but Alan, what were you going to reply with?
Well, it's crazy that people get in different places, because there's actually, I wanted to mention that Seven Oaks was completely washed out. I think 7 trailer homes were just completely ripped away from their bases, and 20 people were stuck down there from trees. So thoughts to them, because they were being evacuated like by helicopter. So there are some people that had some crazy stuff, but it really sucks about your business, though, especially in that area. But I guess everybody was hunkering down. Yeah, Tomas.
Yeah, go ahead, Tomas.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, that really sucks, Kyle. I would say it was probably, so having been in a hurricane in Mexico before, on the coast in Los Cabos, I would say that probably definitely wasn't a hurricane, but I would say that it was extremely heavy downpour, at least up here, for this area. Like, this area doesn't have the ability to drain that much water that quickly. And yeah, it was pretty bad up here in terms of like flooding and stuff like that. Fortunately, I live like not at the top of the hill, but on the hill, so we weren't getting too badly flooded. But out on our front porch and stuff, and on the road, it was a lot of water. So yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on the area. I would definitely have considered it a tropical storm, but I would definitely also consider that this area doesn't have the system designed to cope with that kind of water. Like it was a lot of water. It was a lot.
Right. It was a lot, and all I was saying is like prepare, right? But
yeah,
don't like over exaggerate with the media. And those areas you're talking about, Alan, is like that's happened before, right? Like you kind of know when you're in those mudslide areas that there's an evacuation order, right? You kind of know, hey, there's a big storm coming at least. But when I moved to the flatland down here, we had rain for a solid week during this winter, right? Like every day. And I know there's a lot of rain all at once. All I'm saying is that it made me angry. Not so much the storm, but just the way that it was, people bought into the fear. Not a drop of rain on Saturday. It was like, oh, come on. And look,
that's pretty crazy.
I made my quota, but I was expecting to make more. I was expecting to kind of double up because it's supposed to be a big event. So it's a little, it was a little kick in the nuts. And the worst part was someone brought their dog. It was an outside event. The dog at the end of the night, luckily it was towards the end of the night, the dog ended up pooping right in front of our booth. And not solid either, just it was bad. I think I went 10 minutes on. My sister was helping me. I was like, all right, let's just pack up because this is this is bad.
Yeah.
So.
And they didn't pick it up or anything?
I mean, they wiped it, but they kind of they smeared it like on the ground, and so I had to get water, and it was like all that to say, we met our quota. It was a pretty good night. I don't know about Alan, how much rain you guys experienced where you were at.
Oh, we got quite a bit from what I've understood, but I was going to move on from this hurricane talk, if that's okay with you gentlemen.
I'll allow it.
But anyways, so
I haven't decided yet.
Okay, so well, I'm making an executive decision here.
Well, that long pause is you give up your rights.
It was for drama. It was for drama. It was for drama's sake. You know,
So Tomas, you weren't here last week, is what I was getting at. And we went and saw the Turtles movie, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. We saw it as a throuple. Should we say that? Is that kosher?
Only if it's sexual.
All right, but we saw it together, and
I believe that it would be a threesome.
You saw, and me and Tomas, me and Kyle gave our reviews of it last time we had a recording. My review, we have changed our review system, I suppose, and I will read it now.
Yeah.
We're moving to from top to bottom: ultra nerdy, super nerdy, nerdy, slightly nerdy, and total BS. We reserve the right to change this if we want to, but that's where we're at. But my rating would be a super nerdy. And Kyle, what was your rating?
Well, when you said top to bottom, I thought you were talking about something else. But my rating was slightly nerdy. It was okay. I don't want them to make any more. It wasn't the worst thing I ever saw, though.
So, Tomas, knowing that, and obviously listening to the last week's podcast, you heard our opinions.
Of course, yeah.
What is your opinion, and then what is your rating?
Okay, first off, I'd just like to defend myself. I was working on my book. I wasn't listening to anything, so I'm very sorry. But I would say that it was actually nerdy. I could take it or leave it. It was fun. I probably won't go see it again unless someone pays for me to go see it again. If they want to make another one, I'll probably see it when it comes out on TV, or like I said, when someone pays for me to go see it. I wouldn't say it's the worst Turtles out there.
The worst Turtles was that's the worst one though.
No, that's not. It's definitely not the worst one out there.
Whoa.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's an incredible work of art.
Well, we're not rating that one right now. We can demolish that one later. But for now, what is your rating for Mutant Mayhem? Is what we're focusing on. What is your rating for Mutant Mayhem?
Nerdy. Right in the middle.
You went with Kyle's rating on that one.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Why don't we take a minute here and we can go through. What would you guys say is your favorite Ninja Turtles movie then? We're not gonna go in order or ranking or anything like that. What is your favorite? Doesn't have to be the best. Could be your personal favorite. So we'll start with. Why don't we start with Tomas, since Tomas seems to already want to scream it to the hillside.
I still think my favorite is Turtles 3. It hits all the nostalgia vibes for me, and I have seen it as recently as early 2000s, and I still enjoyed it. I haven't seen it probably for the last 20 years. Did see it, I would say, kind of currently.
Well, what about you, Kyle, then?
Let me ask you this, Tomas. What is the subtitle for Turtles 3, if it's your favorite one? If it's your favorite one...
Something Japan?
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't remember, honestly. I don't, but ask me the subtitle to any of them. I can't tell you any of them.
You can't tell me Ninja Turtles 2?
Secret of the...
Oh, is that Secret of the News?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this, a trial?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, when you said the third one's your favorite, I went into...
It is.
full-blown attorney mode.
That's fun. What is the under? I know now. I'm curious with the
well, okay,
the little sub.
Well, I can tell you, and I know why. The only reason I remember is because I know why it's called it.
Yeah, it's
okay.
The biggest thing was Jim Henson was no longer doing the puppetry on it, and so it's noticeable. Anyways, my favorite is the first one, the 1990 Jose Canseco Bat version. If you get that reference, you know it, you know. Mm-hmm. And so, it goes in order for me. So my favorite's 1990. What about you, Alan?
1990 as well. It's just classic. I mean, that was the first one I saw as well. Right when I was in Turtle Fever. Remember when it came out? I think it was when it came out because I remember watching. The show was coming out at the same time. I was buying all the toys. I was watching. I never went to, but I was watching the concert on the TV when it would show up here and there, or the movie, or the VHS tape. I had almost all the VHS.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja. Go. Oh, that's number 2.
No,
sorry,
not that one. Yeah, that's Secret of the Ooze, Vanilla Ice. But I think that's still my favorite. I mean, I haven't found one that's better than that one. It's one of the first, and I think it's one of the only Ninja Turtles movie that's really taken them seriously. There was still the humor, but it does seem like it actually takes them seriously, like the comic book does. I mean,
true.
I really enjoyed
it. It was that's a good point. It was very
comic. Sorry, I was gonna say, except for My Turtles, you never see the actor's face, so it doesn't traumatize you. Like
we don't know that. I mean, you can watch we can watch it on.
I'm very sure. I'm very sure you don't see the actor's face.
I mean, you didn't know that there was that in one either. So.
No, I did it until someone pointed out to me. But
great. It's great, isn't it? Dude, that whole time period was, we were like you said, Alan, we were like kids, and that whole time period is so like magical and nostalgic, and they just hit the nail on the head when they came out with that first one. Like just the shadows and the lighting of that first movie compared to the third one, like just that alone. And I'm so glad we're dissecting these turtle movies right now on our podcast. I know it's supposed to be Star Wars related, but I'll digress. That's all I want to say.
Okay. I also agree with all that. I love the Turtles, but we are moving into Star Wars territory because there is a big show that just came out. We have not watched it. I'm planning on watching it possibly this evening or tomorrow, but we'll get to that. But before we do, I will remind everybody that all of our social information is down in the description. So if you want to contact any of us on the X, I guess is what it's called now.
Oh God!
I don't know how to say that without it just being odd.
You'll get used to it. It still says Twitter too. Twitter.com.
Yeah, right.
He's trying to get the X.com. It's a whole thing. Look it up. It's a sad story.
We don't want to talk about it, but the story just reels us back in every time.
It's a big deal right now. It's a very nerdy topic, and
it's fun to watch. It is.
Yes. Fun to watch.
Ultra nerdy for sure.
But I personally, randomly, since I've been evacuated, I was hanging out at my in-laws, and I put on Spaceballs on a whim just to have it in the background. And while enjoying that fantastic film, for some reason, the spark of Star Wars, I don't know if you guys know this, I think I've said this on the cast before, Star Wars is something that always comes back to me. It's a flame that ignites at random times in my life, then I get extremely obsessed with it again, and it sparked it. So I was like, you know what, I'm going in, and so I started watching some stuff that I'll get into, including finishing Mandalorian 3 and Tales of the Jedi. So I guess I wanted to have a discussion with you guys about where does Star Wars sit? I mean, it hasn't been as milked as hard as Marvel, but it's been milked pretty hard. They're really trying to pump out a lot of content. So I guess we can start with Kyle. Why don't you go ahead? Start.
I guess it hasn't been milked quite as hard, but they are pumping it real good lately. I love that Spaceballs reignited your passion for Star Wars, because it was right. Like they hadn't even done the prequels yet, and it's like Mel Brooks, the king of spoofs, and like does it justice though, right? He makes fun of it just completely, but doesn't like rip it to shreds, which is kind of, I feel like, what Disney's doing to Star Wars right now. That little spark you talked about, Alan, has been totally extinguished for me, and I don't know. It's probably been a long time coming, I guess, but I think Obi-Wan was the cap for me. And I tried to do Mando, and I finished Mandalorian season 3. And when I say finish, I kind of crawled through it, and we can talk more about that in a little bit. But yeah, they've made so many poor decisions, even with Mandalorian, which I thought would be like the new catalyst for Star Wars. But I'm basically moving towards the camp of like, I just want to watch the original 3, maybe the prequels, maybe with my kids, but like, and not just the original, like just the uncut, unedited originals, because the biggest like irk for me was Return of the Jedi when they included a music video at Jabba's palace. I can't take it. So for me, Alan, I'm kind of the opposite end of you when it comes to Star Wars. So what did you end up watching Mandalorian 3?
Yes, as I said, I did. But so my spark has come and gone quite a bit in my life, but it's kind of jumped back and forth for me. I fell off at Rise of Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker, I think it was what it's called, the last one. I still have not watched that one again. And then Mando brought me back, and then Boba Fett took me out. I pushed myself to watch Obi-Wan because I wanted to be excited for it. But then that we saw where that went. That pushed me out again right away. And then I got this spark, and I actually finished Mando 3, and I finished the Tales of the Jedi, which actually is the one I recommend, and I highly recommend everybody checking it out if you're even remotely curious, because it is so short, and it really shows off the impact like Star Wars can have with good storytelling in that universe. Tomas.
I mean, me personally, I'm not as heavy a Star Wars fan as you guys are. I didn't like the new ones. I thought just on a storytelling point of view, they were pretty bad, and it wasn't It wasn't even like it wasn't that they did a disservice to the fans, which I know that a lot of fans feel that they did. It was that it was just not, to me, it was just not good storytelling, and I know a lot of other people felt the same way.
What are you talking about exactly? I guess I'm curious.
Well, the whole thing with, first of all, they had
more recent stuff, because I'm curious if you're talking about like, I didn't understand if you're talking about Star Wars in a whole, or just Star Wars like more recent.
I was talking about the new Star Wars stuff.
Okay, the new stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Rise of Skywalker or Mandalorian or
I liked I would say the movies, not so much the TV shows.
That's right. Neither of you like the new trilogy at all, correct?
No. Well, I like that.
I can put up with the first one. But after that,
I like Force Awakens. I actually really enjoy Last Jedi as well.
Yeah.
But then she just finds that, what was it, the knife or whatever?
Anyways.
Rise of Skywalker pulled me out entirely. That's the one I still haven't watched a second time. Last Jedi I had some issues with, and I watched it again, and I've actually grown to enjoy it. Everything except Canto Bight. That's the only thing I cannot forgive. That is the worst chunk of the movie, and if that was not in the film, it would be a lot better. But that chunk is just awful. But
I feel, anyways, so and with Mando, I've been watching it. The new season definitely is a little slow. I haven't finished it. I have the last 2 episodes to watch tonight. I really tried to finish it last night.
Which are pretty good. The last 2 are actually decent.
Cool.
I think you'll enjoy those.
False.
I guess that's my opinion then.
But I would say I'm excited for Ahsoka. I liked Ahsoka in the cartoons and stuff, so Yeah, I think it'll be fun to see. I mean, if it even does one episode like Obi-Wan, I will turn it off, though. I swear I will, because I'm done with that.
What does that mean? One episode like Obi-Wan?
It's just the complete bonkers turn from his character that makes absolutely no sense in the continuity of the story that they have told. Plus, just the idea of trying to make stakes when there are none, and we know that there are none. It just drove me nuts.
I know Kyle wants to say something, so why don't you go, Kyle?
Yeah, go ahead, Frodo.
Going back to Mando, season 3 felt like I don't know, every 8 different people was directing it, and Alan and I were talking about this. I wanted to get your take on it, Tomas, but I think you said episode 3 when they do that little side story with the scientist. It's totally you don't even see Mando or anything.
Yeah, I think there's a section at the beginning and a section at the end, but
yeah, but it's not it's way on another planet, and I was digging it. I was getting into it. I'm like, okay, and then there's zero payoff. There's a bit of a spoiler there, Tomas, but I think we already talked about it in Discord. It was just you
did bring it up in Discord, yeah.
Yeah, it was just dude, it went nowhere, and it's do they just do this so they can potentially make a new show with these characters? They weren't that good, but it was fun.
Depending on what it is, depending on what the twist is, because like I said, I haven't seen the last 2 episodes. Depending on what the non-fulfillment is there, I was watching that episode, and there were some things I liked, very few things I liked, but there were some things that I liked with the scientist and with her.
Right. That's what I was saying.
But towards the end there, I just felt and this is what I mean by poor writing, and I might be misjudging this, but this is what I mean when I say that Star Wars has done this a few times where they just blatantly try to slap you with the information, and it's no, we're competent people, we can put this together. And what I'm talking about is they showed this character who is obviously going to be an evil character. They showed this character, and this character started doing good things. So at the end of the 3rd episode, it kind of felt like the writers are oh, we need to remind the audience though that she's a bad character, that this character is a bad character. So let's have this character torture the other guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it went nowhere.
We can remember that she is, or he. I can't. Sometimes I was thinking.
It's a woman.
Yeah. All right. So I couldn't. There were times where I was getting. I can remember that she is the bad character without her doing something.
Well, there was a reason for that, though.
Okay. All right. Maybe because I didn't see the reason.
It was explained in the show. The Mon Calamari explained it. They essentially said they're going to be using it to help him.
No, it's when she turns it up where I have the problem.
The reason why she turns it up, and the Mon Calamari explained it. He essentially said that this device was used, and he was arguing with him because he said this device was used by the Empire to essentially erase memories.
Yeah.
So he was saying that, oh no, we use it at a light level now for therapy, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
She turns it up because she's erasing his memory. That's
why. But why? But she doesn't need to do that because no one believed him already. So
now he doesn't have anything to do with it. He forgets it entirely. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I guess
there's
issues
one step
with away
it,
from killing him.
Yes,
one step away from just that way it doesn't look suspicious. Yeah,
exactly.
But all that to say, whether you liked it or not, it didn't go anywhere. It had nothing to do with the season, really.
I was just saying that I agree with that. That particular thing did serve a purpose.
Right, I get you.
Yeah.
So one thing that I kind of had a question on watching this movie, and it came up when she gives him the astromech, the droid. to go
R-
check
R5?
the air. Yeah. So my question is, number one, obviously droids don't take over all menial jobs, because there are still humans and aliens performing certain menial jobs. So if the droids aren't there to take over menial labor force, are they like a sentient race? Are they considered sentient race? Or are they servants?
So it's been explored in Star Wars multiple times, but usually it is they serve a purpose first, but there are cases of sentience, and even they've described, as C-3PO said, I think it was in the original trilogy, he explains that R2-D2 has never had his memory erased, and it's actually a problem. They're supposed to be getting routinely wiped. That way they do not form sentience.
Okay, because my confusion comes from essentially in episode 3 when he's talking to this psychiatrist droid or whatever. That droid has absolutely no personality, but then you look at R5 who has complete personality, and it's like, wait, what do droids do?
That is it goes from droid to droid for sure. I mean, there's even a one of the episodes that I'm pretty sure you've seen in the order you described, where they do explain that they have reprogrammed droids to basically take all menial work or tasks away from the people, so that way people get to use all of their time for recreation.
Yeah, I've seen that episode, but yeah, and that was kind of what also kind of brought the debate up in my mind. I was like, wait a second, I thought, are droids like R5 or are droids like menial workers?
Both, and that's the thing about it, is it's both. Droids are very different by case, but
right, yeah, that's kind of been like a not a joke. I don't know. There's been discussion with Star Wars, like droids
topic,
have,
I guess, an interesting topic.
Droid rights and all that. So I think though, so that was like a minor gripe, and they're probably, from what I've read on certain things, is that they're going to lead the next season of Mando into the start of the First Order beginning, which is like, oh great, like it's going to be tied into that series of BS. But yeah, I didn't like the ending of that season, and I won't do any spoilers, but I think Alan said he did like it, but did you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I did like the very end. It did give me goosebumps. There are things I didn't like in this season that I don't want to spoil, but I didn't like the overuse of Grogu. And that's mainly because...
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
Because he's an okay character. And I enjoyed him in the first 2 seasons, but towards the latter half of the second season, I was expecting him to go. And he did, and I was excited for that. I was like, good, now we can kind of move on. But because of merchandising and whatnot, Book of Boba Fett, another series that I really didn't like, except for the bits with Mando in it, they brought him back during that season, which gave it to the point where that's why I was having issues this season for a while. And him moving around, it kind of bothers me. I know he's a puppet, of course, but there's obviously a lot of CG put involved. But because of how small his stature is and everything like that, when you see him moving around and stuff, he looks like a doll. I mean, even when they've thrown him to other people and things like that, it looks odd. And then when he does his little force jumps, again, it looks bizarre. And there was a scene early in the season when he fights the other kid with the darts.
Yep, I was just gonna say that. It looks
so weird. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel natural. And I think it worked a lot better when they kept the creature in the cradle and we did minor things. You know, it made a lot more sense. And so that's why I think Grogu's kind of played its course, but I don't know if that's the case. I'm hearing now rumors of Bo-Katan taking the reins and becoming the new Mandalorian for the series. I was joking with my son when we were watching it, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but essentially it's like, why is it called Mandalorian anymore? Shouldn't it be called Mandalorians? Like, at what point is this? Because I don't think we're focusing on one Mandalorian anymore. But
yeah, that was a big problem for me too. Was just that they went away from him like being a bounty hunter, and it got too big, too fast. Like that first season was just like small stories, right? Where small little bounties here and there, just between him and Grogu. And man, you're totally right. When Grogu moves around in any kind of action setting, it's just bad. And the thing that worked with Yoda, I don't know what difference. Maybe
the difference is
maybe it was bigger.
I think
it was full CGI.
I think it was bigger. I think the full CGI helps, and because he's bigger, his arms and legs look at least a little bit more usable.
Well, yeah. Like the proportions make sense, right? Like the weight and the flying around with the lightsaber just looks cooler. But funny enough, he was, if you remember, in episode 1, he was a puppet for several scenes, and then they went back and changed into CGI.
I enjoy him as a puppet, but it does work better when he's not moving around all over the place. It works better when he's in a chair or in a bed or or in a backpack. Like, these work well. It's just that they don't work well when they're doing like weird movements where it starts looking a little, because it makes sense in the Muppet movies because it's just silly. Like, they look silly, so they're gonna look silly.
And they like, that's all they had, right? So like they had to make that work. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, it feels like, well, we'll fix it in CGI. Where it's like, no, you didn't. It's like, instead of just focusing on like, we want to do all puppet or it just seemed like they didn't have a plan. That's what it felt like with this season. So the other thing that kind of bugged me was that they gave zero explanation to why Cara Dune wasn't there.
Yeah,
I was expecting at least a Poochie the dog kind of thing.
I thought they did say that she works. She's working in the first episode. I'm pretty sure. They said it when he goes back to Nassau. What is it called? Navarre. When they went to Navarre, the leader of Navarre mentions in passing. So he's like, hey, we want you to be our marshal or our security, essentially. And he says, well, what about her? And he says, well, she's already gone to go work in the Republic or something. They throw it off.
They did Poochie the dog her, so I missed it. Yeah.
So, but what I wanted to bring up next is, while you guys did mention that you enjoyed episode 3 for the simple fact that it seemed to have a decent interpersonal communication between the two characters, or the multitude of characters. It did kind of explain an interesting concept of the amnesty of these of Imperials, which made sense. I'm going to throw out: have either of you watched Andor yet?
No, not yet.
So the reason,
depending on how Mando goes, I may or may not watch Andor.
See, that's very sad to me, because Andor actually takes interpersonal communication very seriously, and the characters in it are much more interesting and fleshed out. I've been watching it with my wife. It is much longer, 12 episodes. Each episode's about an hour long, so it is a long show. But the communication between the characters, the darkness of the heroes, quote unquote, the things they have to go through and actually going through to accomplish missions. This is a much more thought out and well-designed show. And it saddens me because it's not as popular, and I think the only reason it hasn't blown up is, number one, it doesn't have the Mandalorian armor, and number two, it doesn't have a puppet that they can sell dolls of. So I think it's just...
That's a good point.
And so this show is kind of, I think, being washed under the radar, and it's a really good and serious look at Star Wars. And it's sad. It kind of saddens me that it's not like thought of more seriously. You know what I mean? It's actually, they're trying something new. It's upsetting. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I hear you, and I've heard those same things and read those same things, but what happened for me, and I think that what you said has a big part of it, but what happened for me was that I watched Obi-Wan, and before Obi-Wan came, maybe even during the first episode, I'm like, oh, there's another show coming out. They were talking about it, and then by the end of Obi-Wan, I was like, no, I don't even want to give it the time of day, because I was so upset that they ruined the character of Obi-Wan so badly that I was like, no, even if it's good, I am choosing to step away from Star Wars. The flame is extinguished. Mandalorian made sure of that. It was already out, and he stomped it to the ground. And that's where I'm at with Star Wars. So, Alan, yeah, it's just time for final placements of it. It's kind of a sad point.
Yeah, it is very sad.
I didn't mean to be such a downer.
I want to come back and praise Andor a little more, just for a brief second. I did watch a bit before I watched Mando, and then I binged Mando with my son because Ahsoka was coming out.
I like Mambo.
But I did binge it with my son yesterday. And the reason I did was because I thought there may be some sort of connection with Ahsoka. It sounds like there isn't, so it wasn't really necessary. But then I went back to Andor afterwards with my wife, and we watched 2 more episodes, and I was like, holy crap, the depth of these characters, of what's going on, the sincerity of everything, and the actual focus on danger is done so much better in the show. So I want to tell people to go watch it, but at the same time, it's like, it is a time sink. So it's hard to really, it's not as easy to watch as other shows. I stopped watching it originally because I didn't feel like I was paying enough attention. And it needs it. And that's the problem. It needs the attention. So.
And it sounds like you kind of empathize where I'm coming from, which there's a group of friends I have that feel the same way. It's like we're kind of done with Star Wars.
I agree.
Not done, but just the classics.
I've been there too, and I was feeling the same way, and I was trying to find something else to fill the void. But Star Wars does have its own personal place, and it does feel like it's been watered down quite a bit. So hope people give Andor more time. I also am concerned about Ahsoka, but mainly because I've never really liked the Ahsoka that's been portrayed in the live action so far, and so I'm still concerned about that. Somebody was mentioning that because a lot of these characters are coming from Rebels, and so a lot of people are feeling that these characters are looking like cosplay versions of the characters from Rebels.
They did throw some in Mandalorian season 3. I caught that.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen Rebels, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. They just throw. Okay. What was his name? Zeb, I think was in there.
Zeb was. Yeah. So I'm hopeful for it.
That void. That void that you're talking about in your heart, Alan, is just your midichlorian count is really low. So.
But
Tomas, did you have anything you wanted to?
At the end there.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Either of you watch Rebels, just out of curiosity, coming into this?
Yeah, I saw some of it.
Some of it, okay. Kyle?
No.
Okay. So I've watched the entire thing. I'm a little concerned because it is supposed to be it sounds like it's really wrapping up where Rebels left off. There's supposed to be a nice catch-up section at the beginning, so I'm curious what that's going to be like. So we'll see what happens, and I really hope you guys will take the time to take a look at it. I will let you know if it's even worth anything, but I feel like even if you guys did, we're going to have vastly different experiences because of the history I have with Rebels compared to you guys with very little to no history with Rebels. So
you underestimate my power.
I do. But I guess that's where we will leave it. It sounds like we are. I'm still looking forward to more Star Wars. Kyle, you want to say you're staying out, or are you gonna? What are you thinking?
You're gonna have to really sell it for me. It's gonna have to be like 10 out of 10 for me to jump back in. It's it sounds like you're trying to do that with Andor, but I'm like, I'm out. I got other garbage I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, that's always the issue. There's so much to watch that it's very easy to go a step away.
Yeah.
What about you,
Tomas? Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah.
Like I said, I might give it a chance, but I'll do it on my own time. Yeah, I'm kind of like Kyle. I'm kind of just a little burnt out of Star Wars. I started Mando because you guys were talking about it, but I don't know if I'll go to anything beyond Mando.
I just told you guys to watch Andor instead. Don't watch Mandalorian. Watch Andor.
You should have, yeah.
Andor's way better than Mandalorian, especially season 3. I don't know if I'd say season 1 because season 1 was pretty good, but especially season 3. But anyways, at least what I remember, I haven't watched it in a little while. I didn't watch it a second time. But either way, I think that will wrap up our Star Wars segment. I know so, and we can move on to some gaming that we've done. Me, and Tomas have played a lot of Diablo 4 as of late. And I guess, why don't you start, Tomas, since you played more Diablo 4, and then you can move on to me when you want to wrap that up.
I mean, I've just been kind of playing it while I wait for Baldur's Gate to come out, but I have been really enjoying it. It's fun. I've been playing on hardcore with a friend most of the time, but like I said, I played with you, Alan, and a friend of ours, Cameron, and Brian, and taught online a couple times for my birthday on Sunday. The 4 of us played. Me, our friend Todd, Brian, and Alan. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I don't know about you, Alan, if you've been enjoying it or not. I've put quite a few hours into it, probably more than I should have. But
I personally, I had a great time with you guys. This is not a game I probably will continue on my own. This is a game I will pick up when you guys are playing. I feel like I've kind of seen all I need to see. I may go do the story for the season. But honestly, like, all we do now is just grinding. So
yeah, no,
it doesn't really seem like it's that exciting at this point. I'm just kind of like, okay, what are we gonna do now? Oh, just more dungeons. Okay.
For me, I guess it's the numbers. I like seeing the numbers go up.
I can see the numbers go up, and I play Final Fantasy 14. I'm looking at numbers a lot of times for that as it is. Kyle, did you have something to say, bud?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys how many hours you think you've put into this game at this point. Just
boy.
Guesstimate. I don't need exact number. Just off the top of your head, how long?
So by myself,
400 hours.
Maybe like 2 hours.
Really?
With other people, 2 or 3 maybe.
Oh.
By myself.
Oh wow.
Wow.
With other people, that's the only time I've really played the game. I probably would put it more in the ballpark of 30, maybe 40 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And you beat it, right? You both have beaten it?
Yeah, I beat it, but I beat it. So, like I said, this is a game I don't think I'll play on my own. So, the only way I really beat it is we had a friend of ours, Cameron, who joined us to play a little while ago because Moss wanted to do a little gaming sesh for it on his birthday. And so I wanted to join them, nice. But I was really far behind. So I was saying, I'm going to do this. Okay, I played a little more hours because I was finding those things. So I probably would up my playtime to closer to like 10, 15 hours. But finding those statues, which was monotonous and I feel like a waste of time. Because I don't think they should make you do that multiple times, let alone one time, which seemed to be pretty ridiculous. But, so when I said I was doing that, he really pushed me through with his higher level character, so we kind of smashed through the story that way, which helped make me at least caught up. And then when we started playing, I had a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun playing with them, with other people, but it's not a game I really care about playing by myself. I'd rather do something else, essentially, if I'm going to be doing something by myself.
Gotcha. And what did you say, Tomas? How many hours?
Multiple hundreds. I don't know.
Probably like 200?
300s, maybe even 4. So I don't know.
9,000?
No, it's
Is it over?
it's less than Elden Ring, which I've put like 700 hours into. But
wow.
Yeah. So it's less than Elden Ring, but it's still quite a bit.
So have you beaten it multiple times then?
Depends on how you say. Like, I've beaten it with multiple characters. No, I've beaten it with one character because once you do it with one, you can just skip the story. So it's mainly because I play on hardcore, and so when my character dies, I gotta go, well, gotta make a new one. So I've had some bad luck.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, dude. I was pissed the last one.
I guess you're bound to, though, with that many hours.
Yeah.
Maybe vice versa, though. You're bound to have good luck.
Yeah, but like for me, it's just, I mean, I'm being honest, it's just a dopamine trigger when you just see those numbers stack up. It's just like, oh, big numbers, yay! It's the same reason that people play slots. Like,
yeah, no, you're not wrong, man, and that's why I said earlier, like, I'll never get into this game, not because I don't think it's a good game. It looks excellent.
Yeah, most
of them are, but I know myself, and I know what it takes to. Like, just you saying that many hours is like, I'd go down that road.
Yeah.
So, Alan, what were you gonna say?
Oh, that's pretty much it for me on that one. I was just more curious. I am curious about season 2. Are you excited for season 2? You don't seem to be very excited about the game in general.
Like I said, the game itself isn't really why I play. It's that dopamine hit when I go like, oh, 120,000, yeah. Or like I'm watching my armor go up right now. My armor's 7,616, and today I grew it by 400 points. So it was 7,000.
It's crazy that you notice that stuff, because I don't notice that stuff. I usually kind of ignore it. I feel like the item management is a bit much too.
But that's why I play it, is to watch that number go up. Like, it's the sole reason. It is very much like my slot game. Like,
so are you going to play season 2, you think?
I probably will. Just because, again, it's a good number filler. Although I will say that I know Baldur's Gate is coming out for the PS3 for the PS5 in September. Yep. And so I probably will stop playing Diablo when Baldur's Gate comes out.
Well, Diablo's season 1 is in mid-October, I think it ends.
Yeah, so I may not pick it up again. Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. So this for instance, this particular season is about these blood cages, or these heart cages or something, that give you a special bonus power. Mm-hmm. So you're basically gathering these to get the proper ones, so you can add them to your gear. It's all a gear grind, which is exactly what
essentially,
yeah. There's a bit of a story. I haven't finished the story yet. I can't remember who the bad guy for it is. What was the name of the...
Lilith?
No, it's not Lilith. It's the bad guy
the bad guy for the heart?
Season.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So, yeah, exactly. So, and then season 2, I don't know what season 2 is all about.
They're calling it the Season of Blood. It's all supposed to be all about vampires. Yeah. Your characters are supposed to get vampiric powers and stuff like that.
I feel like we're just mumbling on this at this point. So you're not really interested in season 2. I'm not really interested in continuing Diablo much at all, except for just to play with you guys whenever I see people on. Even then, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, like I said,
I think that's where we're at
right now. Yeah, like I said, right now I was playing it until Baldur's Gate came out, and then I probably will skip over. I have been enjoying it. I've definitely put enough hours in it to excuse buying it. So
Kyle, how excited are you to try Diablo 4 now?
Well, I've been trying to get your attention because I have a question for you guys.
Go for it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like you guys said, there's season 2 is announced, and one of the biggest things is that you'll be able to hunt for specific unique items, which sounds like a good upgrade or update. Let me ask you guys this, and Alan, more specifically, I guess, for you, my question would be like, what update would you need to see to bring you back in? And probably the same for Tomas, because it sounds like you're done too. Like, what update do you guys need to see in season 2? Because it says there's going to be a lot of updates. I didn't read the whole article. What update would you want to see that would be like, yeah, I'm coming back in? And not like, not story, not particular weapons, just like what update or like improvement on the game overall do you guys need to see for you guys to jump back in?
So if I were to make a point by the time I've played, and it's probably more than what I've said, I'm sure I've underestimated it quite a bit, but the things that I have noticed that bother me the most have nothing to do with the combat or anything like that. The inventory system in Diablo 3 is terrible, and they need to reassess it. You cannot hold enough equipment. I should not be having to go through a dungeon and leave partway through a dungeon to go deal with my inventory. It is ridiculous, and I think they really need to figure this out, because they are adding basically inflated game time by forcing you to constantly be messing with your inventory, which is, why do I want to keep doing my inventory? I want to play the game. That's not playing the game. That's just wasting time with my inventory. I'd rather just play the game. Let me play the game. Don't make me keep micromanaging.
Right.
I know this day and age, I feel like the monetization in this game is awful, and they are taking advantage. They're kind of taking advantage of people who are willing to pay for it. I understand it's cute to give 666 of the premium currency at the end of it. That's a cute number to put out. But in this day and age, in my personal opinion, a battle pass, if you pay for a battle pass and you get all the way through, you should make enough of that premium currency to purchase the next battle pass. Because if you are consistently playing, you should be able to consistently keep the battle pass. They have a premium battle pass as well. That's more expensive. That's like $24, like 2,400 premium currency. It's 1,000 premium currency to get the currency. Why are they doing the 666 number? If you even think about it, 666, and then you add that together, that's barely over 1,200. I mean, it's like 1,300. You're always going to have change. You're always going to constantly have change, which they're doing that to manipulate you into buying more currency. It is a awful system that they don't need that. I mean, I've played many games that have cash shops that are not predatory, and they make plenty of money doing it. So why are they doing this? They're doing this stuff? They're doing a lot of predatory practices that I do not like. So those are the two things I'd want to change: the inventory system and the monetization system. Both of them are really bad, and they really need to be reworked. Tomas.
I mean, I technically don't disagree with you, Alan, on any of those points. For me personally, to get me back in, I think we just need some more spice. Like, we need new characters. We need to make it so that not only one type of class can make it to the end, that any build can survive. Like, it's kind of annoying that only certain builds are viable. Yeah, but I don't know. What were you going to say, Kyle?
I appreciate those answers, right? Like you said, new characters, just something new, pretty big update for both of you. And like I said, I didn't read the full article. Maybe some of those are coming. But my question is, not my question, maybe more a comment. You guys need to watch the show Mythic Quest on Apple TV, and maybe I can give you my login if need be, because it's like a lot of what you were talking about, Alan. Like, there's a whole department head just for monetization, and he could be super skeevy or he could be really nice, and it's so, oh my gosh, there's 3 seasons of it. And every time we talk about this kind of stuff, like the multiplayer kind of games, it just makes me think of that show and how absurd it is and how fun it is. So if you guys want like an easygoing show, or you don't have to think about too much, just funny video games kind of stuff, let me know and you guys can watch. You can use my Apple TV if you don't have it. So yeah, sounds like you guys aren't going to get back into Diablo 4. It kind of felt that way though. Like, I knew like people were excited for it, and overall it's a good game, but like the initial excitement's going to be over in the next season, in this upcoming season. You know, the diehard fans are going to play it for sure, but Baldur's Gate does sound more fun to me.
I'm excited for Baldur's Gate. I'm not going to be buying it right away. I still haven't played Final Fantasy 16, so I'm excited for it. But speaking of numbers going up, I do have an Indie of the Week, actually, an actual independent game.
Look at you.
I know.
Man, It's not just me.
So last night I was at my in-laws and I was kind of looking for something to play, but I'm really tired because I'm not sleeping super well because you're not sleeping at home. It ends up kind of getting on you after a couple days. But I was trying to look for something to play that wasn't going to be focusing too much time into or too deep, if that makes sense. Something that I don't need a lot of brain power.
Don't gotta watch a 12-minute intro movie just to start the game. Yeah.
So I was looking around for something and I turned on my Switch just randomly, just because I knew what I originally was going to do is they added the Game Boy Color stuff. So they added Pokemon, the trading card game. So I was like, I put it on for a little bit. And so while I was playing that, I went back to the main menu.
Pokemon?
Yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon.
Oh,
the
okay.
Pokemans.
Yeah.
The Game Boy Color trading card game, which is really good. And I was enjoying it, but I went back to the main menu and I saw that there was some new news stories. So I went to the news stories, because that's what I do to get rid of the notification because it bothers me. So I went to the news stories, and on the top of the news, I think it was the second article from the left, was this game called Vampire Survivors. So I was like, well, what is Vampire Survivors? So I clicked on the video to watch it, and number one, I don't know why, but the video was not playing properly. It kept stopping and skipping, so I ended up just going on my phone and looking at a video for it. And I was like, what is this game? So if you look it up, Vampire Survivors, it is essentially, I'm trying to explain it, it's kind of like almost like a Galaga mixed with like a Dynasty Warriors almost. Where you have
that's a good way.
You have like mobs of creatures coming at you, and you have to kill the creatures. One of the highlights of it to me is that there's actually no button pressing besides pressing A to select like buttons and things like that.
Isn't that wild? It's crazy.
It's pretty crazy. And so you're just kind of moving around, and you're just constantly shooting, and you're just constantly getting upgrades, and you're having to pick the right upgrades to blast everything away, try to kill all the monsters as you're going through. And it's just it's mindless, but at the same time you do have to focus on like where your character is and move around to make sure you don't get swarmed. And it's surprisingly addictive. This game is made by Poncle, Poncle. I said that multiple times and I probably just butchered it again. Poncle. And it was a phone game. And I actually played it on my phone a little bit too after I found that it was a phone game to try it out. And it plays in portrait mode, which I always enjoy a good game that plays in portrait mode. And so it was actually quite enjoyable on the phone as well, and it doesn't seem to have a hard monetization either. I think there's just like 2 bonus levels you can buy, which is the same ones you can buy on the Nintendo Switch. So another thing is that on Switch it's actually like a $5 game. So that was what sold me when I first got it.
Definitely, it's affordable.
A $5 game, and it's currently on sale. I can get the number here. I think it was like I want to say $4.49. So you're saving 50 cents right now. It's 10% off because it just came out, and it has 2 bits of DLC, which each for like $1.79, or they're normally $2, which is the same DLC I was telling you about. It's basically 2 new levels, or $2 each, but $1.79 right now. So I had like 350 coins. So I think I used all my coins, so I bought it for like 66 cents. It ended up being, and so then after that I just said screw it, and I bought the DLC things as well. And what is unique to the Switch as well is it has co-op. It's offline co-op, but it's co-op. So this is a phone game that came out in 2021, at the end of 2021, so it's really from 2022. Apparently it has a pretty big following now, but this is the Switch release. It is not on PS5, which, if you look at the graphics, it probably should be right, but no, it's not on PS5.
Top notch.
Yeah, but I don't know if it needs to be either. I don't know if I would play it on PS5. I'm actually interested in trying on the phone more too, just because it's the same game. It's just in a different format. It's different.
Yeah, it's designed for it.
Yeah. So I'm curious to what the co-op's going to be like too. It's only offline, not online. So I was like, oh well, whatever. But from a small studio for a $5 game essentially, and free on the phone. So it's definitely worth it. I would argue that I've already spent enough time to easily justify that price. With only the day I've had, I've only played probably about, I would probably say about a couple hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours. But if you really thought about it, playing in an arcade, you'd easily spend that amount of money on it. So I feel like it's worth it.
The most affordable game we've ever talked about.
Yeah, and it's on sale, 10% off right now. So speaking,
you still got to pay on the Switch.
Yeah, so I'd check it out if you guys want anything that's really nice. I've been looking for something. I've been looking for something that you can. I love to listen to music, but I always like to have something to do with my hands, and so that's always the hardest part for me. And so I've been looking for a game for a while that is something I can do with my hands while listening to music. And the music in the game is great, but that means I could actually do something else while listening to the music, or something. Doing something that doesn't need my full attention, which is perfect for this game. So I'd highly recommend it.
Did you guys know that you was talking about coins on the Nintendo Switch? Did you know you get coins from every physical cart?
Yes.
You purchase?
Yep.
Did you know that, Tomas?
No, I didn't.
So it's kind of sneaky. Yeah. If you go to when you put a cart in your Switch, if you put a game in there and you press plus on it, it'll give you some options, and you can redeem gold coins, and you can add, and most of them give you like a good 50, 60, maybe even more.
$60. It seems to be whatever the cost of it is to buy it new. It's like 1 penny, which is 1 gold. So for a normal $60
so you get like
60.
Yeah. So you get like 60 coins for a $60 game, just depending on the game. But that adds up quick. And like Alan said, like he basically paid $1 or $2 for a $5 game, and so that stuff adds up quick. And so even if here's a tip: if you get a used game, not everybody knows about it. I always pop them in there and check it and see. And sometimes they expire, sometimes they've been redeemed, but it's a little, you could get a couple free games that way.
I didn't know that, yeah.
And I was going to say, Alan, the game is, like you said, it's been out for a couple of years. I haven't personally tried it, but I will now because of your recommendation. But from what I've heard, it is pretty mindless at first, but it's like super rewarding if you master it. It's one of those games. Like if you stick with it, it's actually like
when you get
pretty in depth.
I got pretty far. I think the longest I've gotten is like a 20-something minute game, and my character was already maxed out. And I was at the point where it's like I just don't know what to do because I was getting swarmed everywhere, and I had like a pretty nice arsenal going off, but I still ended up getting just overwhelmed. But it's still really fun, and it's been out for phones for a while, like I said, but it just came out August 17th, so only like 5 days ago. So it's pretty new, which I think was what the sale is for. So
yeah.
But speaking of cheap games or expensive games or prices, I think Kyle has a little something for us today.
Yes, I do, and I think we're going to skip soapboxes in order to play this game that I have set up.
All right.
And unless someone of you had a soapbox you wanted to talk about.
Good.
And just a quick reminder, Blasphemous 2 comes out tomorrow. If you're listening to this, it's probably today, August 23rd, August 24th. It's coming out, just so you guys know. All right, so moving on to the game then. We've played the Duel of Rates several times, and Alan has hosted, and I thought it'd be a good chance to give back to Alan to let him compete for once. Now I am not up to date on the rating system that Alan uses, so I am as some people call a filthy reseller of video games, and so I'm kind of hip to prices on used video games. That being said, we're going to play a game called Price Wars, where Tomas and Alan are going to compete against each other I'm going to name a game, the console it is on, the condition it's in, and they're going to guess the price of the game in its current state. Now, here's a couple things. I didn't throw any collector's editions in, nothing crazy like that. It's just going to be the base game. It's basically, and I'm going to do complete in box though. All right, and I'll mention that a couple more times, where you're buying the case, the disc, and if it has a manual, it comes with the manual. That's kind of what complete in box means. And so you guys are going to guess the price without going over. We'll do the Price is Right rules. The person who gets closest to the price without going over will get a point, and then by the end of it, we'll see who the pricing war god, as it would be, is.
That's just because that's serious. Can you give us a website too, so we can just have a cheat sheet too, right?
Yeah. Please don't go to that website.
I did go to it. Why is it cookies? I was just looking at it, but I did leave it just now.
Yeah, I just wanted you guys to know where I'm going to get my prices. We're going to use pricecharting.com, which essentially that site takes the averages from several different websites like eBay, Amazon, mostly eBay if you look at it.
How are you trying to cheat?
Yeah, exactly. So don't go to that website. I don't know why I gave you the link. I should not have.
No, it's fine.
Here's the deal.
I didn't look at anything, so I just.
Yeah, he says that.
I don't know what he's gonna pick.
Yeah, I don't. There's so many games out. You don't know which one I'm gonna pick.
This list that you put
we're gonna stick to PlayStation this round because
the first
I know you guys are both. We're gonna start with PS5.
Oh, PS5.
We're going to start with PS5, and we're going to go down the list.
Okay.
And depending how quickly we go, we will finish on the first PlayStation. I figured if it goes well, we'll do Nintendo next time or Xbox or whatever.
All right.
So I know we're all kind of at the start in the early 2000s for that one. All right, so we'll go alphabetically, so we'll start with Alan on the first one. You will both give a guess, and then I'll reveal the price. So this is complete price. This is the game, the disc, or cart. If we, it's PlayStation's only disc. It'll be the disc, the case, and if it has a manual, so complete in box price. The first game, any questions?
Maybe you said it already, but is it Price is Right rules? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Price is Right rules. So try not to go over. Yeah, and you can totally use the $1 thing if you know the other person went over. I highly recommend it because it makes it more fun. All right, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Our first game is Diablo 4 for the PlayStation 5. What do you think the complete in-box price is for that currently?
Oh man, $40.
40 straight across, all right?
$40.
Yep, all right. Tomas, what is your guess for Diablo 4 on the PlayStation 5?
I'm going to say it's probably still $60. No, wait, $70.
You think it's 70? This is a used price now.
This is used. Sorry, that's right.
But it is complete, so it's not just the disc; it's the case and everything.
I'd say like $50.
$50?
Yeah.
Alan, you said 40?
Yep.
Tomas, you went over. The complete in box price is $43.56. So if you wanted to buy that, the loose price though, people don't really care about the box right now, is only $42.57. So.
Box is
Alan.
worth $1.
All right, I'll take that point.
Yeah, as of right now, it is only worth $1. So, Alan gets the first point, and we will move to Tomas on this next game. We're going to stick with PS5. We'll do a few rounds of this. All right, next game, Tomas, is Final Fantasy 16 for PlayStation 5. Complete box, PlayStation 5.
Base game.
Yeah, used. It's an open game. It's not new. Final Fantasy 16. Yeah, no collector's editions or anything.
Shoot, I can't remember if 16 was the new one. I feel like it was the new one, right?
This is the new one.
Yeah,
this is the newest Final Fantasy. Yeah,
$50. Gonna keep trying.
$50.
Keep trying 50.
All right, you're going for 50. Alan,
Go 55.
oh, you went higher.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, both of you are
no.
off
Oh,
because it is $48.99.
Damn.
You were just $1.01 off,
Should've got-
Tomas.
Should've went for 40. All right.
You just yeah.
All right.
So yeah, it just shows you it goes it drops pretty quickly some of these games. All right, back to you, Alan. We'll stick with PS5 to let's see. I think I got one, maybe two more for PlayStation 5. All right, Alan, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. What is the current? We're going a little bit older now.
Apart. Okay.
Yeah, Rift Apart. This is the PS5 exclusive.
I'm gonna.
What is this currently valued at?
I feel like it's closer to $30. I'll go for 35.
35. Okay, Tomas.
well, I was thinking exactly 30, so I was really frustrated when Alan was like, I think it's $30. So I'm gonna say 30.
You're 30 for Tomas and 35 for Alan. Unfortunately, you both missed the point again. This one has dropped to $26.63.
I knew it'd be low, but I didn't think it'd be that low.
This is pretty common for Ratchet and Clank. It's been out a couple years. It drops pretty low because they mass produce it. So, yeah. Hey, if you're looking for just the disc, that's $20 even. By the way, so now's your time to pick up that game if you've been looking for it. All right, we'll do one more PS5 since you guys missed a couple. I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys. I think we're back to Tomas.
Yeah.
This is Final Fantasy VII Remake, but the Intergrade Edition, which includes
DLC,
all the DLC with it. So,
All right.
this is not the Collector's Edition because that's a whole other thing. This is just the Intergrade, which includes a code for the DLC. But this is not the new price, remember. $50 for Tomas, Alan.
Code for the
Final
DLC?
Fantasy VII Remake. Intergrade.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go for 60.
60, and Tomas, you said 50, right?
Yeah.
Alan gets another point
Dang
because it's an
Final
even
Fantasy
70.
7. I was going to go 70, but I was like, that might be too high. I got to keep it. Because I knew once he went to 50, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go 60. Let's keep it safe.
Yep. All right. We're going to go down to PS4
Never
now.
underestimate Final Fantasy fans, especially over 7.
Yeah, that's true. You are more of a Final Fantasy fan than Tomas. But on that note, Alan, we're back to Alan, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Help me keep track. Yeah. We're going to go with PlayStation 4 now. Elden Ring on the PlayStation 4, not the PS5 version, PS4. What is the complete price for Elden Ring currently?
This is on me, huh?
This is you.
Elden Ring. Been out for a bit. I go for $30.
$30. Tomas?
Yeah, 30 was my impulse too, so I'm gonna say 25.
25 for Tomas, 30 for Alan. Tomas is finally on the board because we're at $28 even for Elden Ring. I'm glad you got that one, Tomas, because that definitely is your game. If we're talking about different games. All right, Tomas, I'm going to throw... not yet, actually.
Yeah.
We'll keep it simple. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do a curveball. We're going to do a curveball. Tomas, you're up. Okay. We're still on PlayStation 4. Godzilla on PlayStation 4. It's simply titled Godzilla, but it was only released in America on PlayStation 4.
Oh boy.
This is a curveball. This is a I'm just going to give you that. It's a wacky one.
Released in the US. So, I'm going to say cuz it wasn't released in a lot of
sorry, let me say that again. It was released on other consoles in Japan. Okay. But in the US, they only released it on PS4. If that makes sense.
I'm gonna say, I mean, 50's got to hit at some point, so $50.
$50 for Godzilla for Tomas. Alan?
So, just a little bit of a side note here, and I could be wrong, but I did watch an Angry Video Game Nerd about this. This is actually
he has some
gem,
research.
From what I've understood. Not a very good game.
This is.
But it's it's desired. But he said 50, right? So I'm gonna go the smart road though and I'm gonna go 55.
I don't know if I should give this to either of you, but Alan gets the point. It is currently valued at $182.21.
I was gonna say 100, but I was like, but why? Why risk it?
$182. Wow.
And here's a fun fact: I have it up for sale on my store.
182?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking for?
I'm asking for 200 to cover shipping and all that and fees, but
wow.
I mean, if you guys want it for 182, you can have it for 182.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a gem. They don't have a lot of. There's not a lot of.
It's hard to find
games. So it's a hard one to find. Yeah.
So it was released on PlayStation 3 in Japan, and for some reason only PS4 over here. I don't know. There's like you said, there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
All right, we're back to Alan. We're going down to PlayStation 3, so we're making our way through. We're about halfway done here. We're going to go with Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception for PlayStation 3. What is the complete price? Now, this is the opposite direction. I'll just tell you that right now of Godzilla. All right, I'll give you that much of a hint. This is the opposite direction of Godzilla. So, Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception on PS3.
For me,
Alan,
I feel like it's not worth a lot because I know they re-released on PS4, and I think it's even it's really cheap to get on the store nowadays. I think it's even on the PlayStation Plus. So I'm probably gonna go, and PS3s are kind of a pain. I don't think it's gained that much nostalgia. So I'm gonna go with $20. That's still kind of
$20 for Alan.
The PS3 games are also. I would go lower, but I think I'm gonna go for 20. Yeah, because PS3 games are also really cheap for some reason.
I was gonna say $5.
$5 for Tomas?
Yeah, you might get it. Good luck.
Tomas, you get your second point on the board.
I had a feeling.
It is $5.85
Yeah.
for the complete box.
I know when I was
Well
hunting
played.
for Grand Theft Auto 4, that was the easiest platform to buy.
Oh, yeah.
PS3.
So, just so you guys know, Alan has 3, Tomas has 2. So, still a close game.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of those you guys didn't get either because you went way high.
Yeah.
Back to Tomas?
I think it's
Alan?
me. I think it's me.
him.
Yeah, it is because Alan went first. All right. Tomas, we're on PlayStation 3. We're going to go the Simpsons game, complete box for PlayStation 3. The Simpsons game is the title.
I remember. I feel like
not hit and run.
That's a gem.
I feel like Imogen really wanted this game, and I feel like she paid like $20 for it. So I'm gonna say like $20.
$20, okay, Alan.
Yeah.
Simpsons game. What
Simpsons
console
game.
again?
PlayStation 3.
PS3. It's got the stigma of PlayStation 3. It's a Simpsons game. I don't remember if that
stigma.
It is. It kind of is. There's no backwards compatibility for them.
I hear you.
And the consoles are kind of falling apart. But this good one's. What did he say? He said
20.
20. The Simpsons game. I feel like it's higher.
How high can you go?
No. I gotta go 21.
Oh, playing that game. Well played, because it's at an even 40.
Oh, wow.
So you get the
Simpsons. I think
you get
the
the
last
point.
Simpsons game, right? That came out physically.
It is.
Wow.
And fun fact, it came out on PS2, PSP, Wii. Every console has a different cover. Just so you guys know. Yeah, it's all Homer, but he's like knocking someone over differently. Yeah, $40 if you want that complete box right now for PS3. All right, back to Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan, you're gonna get the curveball here.
All right.
I'll give you a bit of a hint too, but the game is NCAA Football 14. The hint is this was the last NCAA football game ever made.
Oh God, I knew
So,
it. You were
this
going to
is
say that because I've heard of
PS3.
this before too. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much? I don't know. I have no idea what the cost would be. I feel like it'd be pretty high. But I'm going first this time. That's football.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna throw 100 on there.
Going for
I'm
100.
going for 100.
All right, Tomas. NCAA Football 14. So this is 9 years ago. This game came out for PlayStation 3.
I'm gonna say 125.
You went even higher.
Yep.
All right. Nobody gets the point.
Ah.
You guys went a little too high.
Gotcha.
It's at 89.25.
I've heard of that one in the past.
Your master plan, huh?
Oh yeah. No, not really.
People still play it
Yeah.
and update it because it's the last one ever made. And they stopped making it because they were making money off the players, and the players got $0. So
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember
the
hearing
court
about
found
that,
it illegal.
and
Yeah.
then I honestly didn't think you'd go that high, Tomas. That's why. So you called my bluff.
No, it's
but
all
it
good.
screwed
You
it
did.
both anyways.
It's all good.
All right, so Tomas, you are up. We're down to PlayStation 2, so we're almost done here. PlayStation 2, we're going to stick with this theme a little bit. Final Fantasy X, the classic. It is now a classic because it's been out for 10 years at least. Final Fantasy X on the PlayStation 2, complete in box. How much can you?
$95.
95.
So
You okay? You want to go that high? You sure?
Yeah, I have no idea, but Final
Okay.
Fantasy has been selling high from what you guys have been talking so far, so I'm going to go high.
This isn't a curveball one. I'm just telling you. I'll give you a chance to change it.
$55.
All right, Alan.
I was
Final Fantasy
hoping he would
X.
leave that. So Final Fantasy X is a tricky one because it is on the PS2, which the only way you can play PS2 games is on either PS2 or shitty PS3 that are constantly breaking.
I have that one.
Yeah, it's a great
Wow.
console, but they break pretty bad.
They're all bound to break.
Yes.
Yeah, at some point.
Also, this
Sooner
game has
rather
been
than later.
re-released to hell and back, so that means that it's gonna drop the value quite a bit. So for a PS2 game, and I could be completely off, but I feel like it wouldn't be that high. I know Final Fantasy X holds a lot of hearts. It is a very popular game. So I'm gonna go. The question is, do I go higher or lower than Tomas? Going lower, I'm going rock bottom to see where I get. Yeah, I'm gonna go $1. Even though I know it's
Doing the $1 route.
like I got 1 to 55. I just don't think it could be 55 or higher because I just don't think a lot of people are hunting it.
Well, it pays off because it's $8.
Oh, wow.
It's that re-release, man. That's
Wow.
what killed Kingdom Hearts. It used to be expensive too, and then once they re-released it, it was
Oh yeah,
dropped.
they released it to hell and back.
Mm.
You were not wrong there. So that makes a score 5-2. Just so you know, Tomas, you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, I don't know if I can come back on this one.
So Alan, it's your turn. PlayStation 2,
Mm-hmm.
Def Jam, Fight for New York.
Ooh, that's a popular one. That's a really popular one. Def Jam series is super popular. And
Hell yeah, it
they
is.
don't make them anymore. They stopped.
They do
When
not.
did they stop making them? Did they make one on the PS3?
I don't know. I
They
don't
did.
think
They
did they?
did, but
Okay.
it was more of like a Guitar Hero. You're rapping.
Oh.
So this is
kind of
definitely
game,
a
yeah.
nostalgia one. So this is
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah,
what
oh,
people are
yeah.
hunting for. Well, I'm just going to throw one out. 200.
200 for Alan. Tomas.
I was gonna say 95, but hearing 200.
I'm basing that on absolutely nothing, Tomas. So you go wherever you want. I just know it's a popular game. I've heard the name
I
before.
really loved the game too. I don't know if it was that one I played, but I played one of the Def Jam ones to death.
Same.
I'm gonna say stick with 95.
Good call, Tomas. It is 150 and 86 cents. So you went under. Alan went over quite a bit, but if you want a complete in box game, Def Jam Fight for New York on PlayStation 2, you're looking at 150, or just the disc 121.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a toughie. All right, next one. We're sticking with PS2, and then we'll do a couple PS1s, and we'll be done here. Tomas, you go first this time. We're gonna do Futurama, the video game, on PlayStation 2. They had one.
I didn't know that.
They had one game come out. It was on Xbox as well, but this is the PS2 version.
Maybe it's like really rare, so people really want it. Good old $50 hasn't let me down yet. I'm gonna go there.
$50 for Tomas. Alan?
So, like you just said, they haven't made another Futurama game. So that's besides the mobile game. And also there is a new Futurama series out. So that's gonna spike the price up a little bit. I feel like 55 is too high, but with being the only one, I'm gonna go $1. I think I'm gonna risk. I think it's gonna be lower. It's a PS2 game. It's a PS2 game. At the end of the day, that's the problem. PS2 games do not age that well, and there are gems like Def Jam, but I don't know.
Right. Well, the problem is this is even more of a gem, Alan. The point goes to Tomas. This game is currently worth $243.79.
See, I would not expect that.
Yeah,
but it makes sense. It's the only Futurama game. It also just spiked in popularity, I'm sure, because of the new series coming.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it went back up in price a little bit, but it's always been a $200 game.
Wow.
All right, I got a couple PS1 games depending on. It's 5-4 right now. Tomas has made a bit of a comeback here. Alan, you are up.
All right.
We're gonna go good old Crash Bandicoot, Black Label, not the greatest hits version, complete in box for PS1. We're down to PS1. This is the last couple rounds we got.
This one has been remastered too. Always brings down the value. But it is a Black Label, and people do really have some crazy nostalgia for Crash Bandicoot.
Yep, just so you know, guys, the Black Label is the original label, not the greatest hits version. That's a big difference, so.
Yeah.
Give us your guess.
Can't be too much higher than $40.
$40 for Alan. Tomas.
85.
Tomas, you went a little bit too close to the sun there, bud. You should have stuck with your gut and went with 50 because it's 51.17. And here's the difference: if you just want the disc of Crash Bandicoot, it's $15.
Yeah.
But case, those are the cases of these older games. Yeah, they're getting harder to find.
Weak plastic too. It's a really weak plastic.
Yeah, it's like
those
CD cases.
It's the CD cases, yeah. And the people are just throwing them away. All right, Tomas, you are up first.
Okay.
You need to get these next two right in order to win.
Yeah.
We're sticking with the original PlayStation, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
Tomas is up.
Yeah,
Tomas is up first.
I know.
So,
okay.
I mean, everyone that I know says they like Castlevania, but I don't remember which ones.
This is a good one. This is a well-liked one.
I'm gonna go $85.
$85 for Tomas. Alan?
Oh, this is a hard one. It came out on PlayStation. Which is probably the rarest one. Or no, the rarest one is what? Sega CD, I think, or is it Dreamcast? Those ones, that's ridiculous. It gets expensive. So PlayStation's not the definitive one, but it is still PlayStation. And Castlevania Symphony of the Night is probably regarded as the the Castlevania game.
Okay.
So it's gotta be 100. I'm going. What did he do? 50 something?
85.
85? Yeah, I'll go 90.
Well played, sir.
Ah.
It is valued at $127.47 right now.
Let's just hear the last one. Let's just hear the last one. Just to hear it.
You want to hear the last one?
Yeah. Just
all right.
hear it.
Yeah. So yeah, Alan takes the win, but the last one was I had Spyro the Dragon.
Oh.
Black Label for PS1. Good old fashioned Spyro. So do you guys want to take a guess?
70.
70 for Tomas?
I'll go 80. It's probably sitting somewhere around Crash Bandicoot.
Spyro the Dragon, the original game, is $19.53.
Oh, whoa!
That one didn't age quite like.
Everybody loves Spyro. There's nothing wrong with Spyro. It's just Crash Bandicoot, I think, is more renowned.
Yeah, something happened with Crash that it hit better. Well, Crash is still making games too.
Yeah,
that's true.
Spyro is not. Thank you guys for playing. I had a ton of fun actually.
I did too.
Good win,
really
Alan.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah.
6-4. That was
very
actually
close.
Good
game. Good game.
So just so you know, I have a lot of that stuff just in my mind.
Yeah, we'll have to do that
as my side gig.
You do, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll do Nintendo next time. It'll be even more fun. Man, those prices get even more outrageous. So.
Nintendo's nuts, yeah, for sure. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you, Kyle, for that, and thank you for joining us, Tomas.
Yeah,
I think that's a
thanks for having me back.
Long episode. So enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully you come in next time for in 2 weeks, do another episode, and hopefully we'll see you there. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good night.